The Libyan Digest.
The Libyan Digest is brought to you by the Libyan Observer. Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Libyan Digest. The Libyan Digest is brought to you by the Libyan Observer. As every episode, new topic, new guest, and welcome.
So yes, this is the third episode of our program, the Libyan Digest. Today we are going to discuss another important topic. You may say that we are still discussing topics that has a relationship with the pandemic we have in Libya.
Yeah. This topic and every topic they are related to the situation we're living right now, and also it's related to our general life, like the normal life. You can always relate to that. I hope everyone is listening to us. I hope they're being safe at their homes, and I hope they're keeping social distance.
Yes.
So far.
Actually, we want to thank everyone has listened to the first two episodes, especially those who are from Africa. You may have seen the comments.
Yeah.
And yes, so this is a greeting. For all of them.
Thank you for listening, and I hope we're benefiting you. I hope you're getting enough information about whatever you're asking about. If you have anything to ask about, please comment, and we'll be discussing that. For today's topic, we're going to talk about online education in general, and online education in this pandemic or in this situation. Of course, we're going to have guests. We have today, one of our guests is an English teacher and a writer, Miss Hana Saleh. And also we have a volunteer that works with the registration department at the Faculty of Art, Misurata University. We're going to discuss what is online education. I know everyone has an idea of that. And I know we basically informed about that, and I guess everyone is using it right now. However, we just want to go in details. As every episode, we need to go a little deeper in the topic we discuss.
Yes. So online education, it's not a new method that we have nowadays. But in Libya, especially in the case we have right now, we cannot see an interactive way with this method. So this is the issue we want to discuss with our guest for today.
Online education, as I might say, is a form of education where students use their home computers or phones through the internet to get information and to get whatever they want to know. It has different names. Maybe people say computer-based training, web-based training, internet-based training, online training, e-learning, which is internet learning.
Distance learning, maybe.
This is
one of the names.
It's a new form because we're living this situation, distant education, online education. It goes by many names, but it comes in a variety of styles. But at its core, as I quote, online education is electronically supported learning that relies on the internet for teacher-student interaction and the distribution of class materials. Okay? I mean, have you used online education, or what is it for you?
To be honest, there is a lot of let's say a lot of times that I have tried that I want to use this method, but I didn't have the chance. Maybe I didn't have the chance to use it in the right way, or without someone telling me the benefits or something like that. So that's why I have to highlight it in this podcast, and I hope that we will reach to the point we want.
Also, we're not fully educated or maybe supported to do an online education. If our base is to go with the flow and try what the world is trying, maybe we would be more educated about the online education. Maybe it will be easier for us. Maybe people will be using as a daily basis, as a daily mission to do.
And this is the point, because we have raised with traditional methods in teaching, and I think that has this thing has influenced us directly. So this is the point, and this is the thing that we hope at the end of this podcast is reaches everyone who's going to listen to this episode.
Yeah, we've always we are used to the traditional teaching, which is teacher-based student education, where we just sit in a class, have our material, and just go home, do our homework, and come back.
Yes.
Okay. Lately, people at universities are trying to use emails and use to contact with their teachers, and maybe hand their assignments via email. Okay, this is a good step, but we need to learn more, go deeper, go have more knowledge of that. And of course, we will know about that through our guests for today.
Yes.
Miss Hana, hello and welcome to our Libyan Digest, and we appreciate the time you invest with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and I'd really love to congratulate you on your new show. So, well done.
Thank you.
Yes. So online education or distance learning. First, we want to highlight the problems we have with traditional education, and the things that has make us think to transform, maybe to in order to use online education more and more.
Right. I think the idea of online education or distance learning, or whatever you want to call it, anything that inevitably needs or demands the use of the internet, being in contact, or any form of education that needs to be done online, there needs to be a solid basis for it at the beginning. I mean, yes, for as long as we have known, or for as long as we can remember, it's just the traditional method that's been used in our country for so many years. So in recent years, yes, the internet, or this idea of e-learning, the idea of e-learning has been introduced in most of our faculties here in Misurata. It's been immensely successful in some faculties, but not in others, and this perhaps depends or has to do with what the specialization is. Like for IT, it's worked, I mean, quite beautifully. For other faculties or departments, there is this argument or controversy, why do we need it? What are we going to do with it? Or what are we going to use it for? How can we implement it in our system, in our methodology? So that's the thing that sort of, got people in some kind of, whirlwind. So I think the question that needs to be asked is, how much do we know about the online world? How much do we know about how people know about using the internet.
Yeah.
So
Are we aware enough? Is there awareness
Absolutely.
of e-learning?
Absolutely. So it's like if you get like some kind of consensus within this specific city, like if you ask people in general, so what do you know about the internet? Email. And immediately, and this is like the cliche topic, people would say, well, I have a Facebook email.
Yep.
Well, believe it or not, that's not an email. So that is an account.
Yes.
And this is how, or what is actually is the challenge of, you know, us taking a step forward towards e-learning, because we're still struggling with the fact that a lot of people don't know what an email is. A lot of people don't know how to actually, you know, establish an email to begin with, how to use it for, you know, different systems or programs online that will actually help pave the way for us to take like the leap to the next step.
Yes. In your personal opinion, you think that we have a lack in educating young people, for example, in using the internet in the right way.
Yes.
Because we are seeing, let's say, in using the internet, especially in our society, we are seeing something randomly are going around.
Absolutely. You know, this word random, it's like, I mean, the internet has been there for some time already.
So long, yeah.
And to implement this technique in a society that, you know, still doesn't know, you know, bottom from top in this area. So it's kind of hard. It really, I do believe that it happened so suddenly, like people were introduced to it like that.
Of course,
So it was like you slammed them with it. So this is why I think there is an imbalance or unbalance that happened.
How do you say it? It's a cultural shock or something? We were
Indeed.
culturally
Yes.
I
shocked
think we could call
because-
it a cultural shock, because it's not something that we're I don't want to say we're not used to it, but it's not something that we were introduced to the internet via social media, and that's basically it.
And this is the point maybe we want to highlight here, is the social media. Can we use the social media in this way, using it in a positive way, maybe taking the advantage of those who are using it a lot? How can we apply online learning with the social media?
I think if you take into consideration what is more popular among people than what isn't, of course, hands down, Facebook is like the most popular social platform. So it is indeed possible to create some kind of, you know, bridge between educators and learners on Facebook. I personally haven't used that platform, you know, educationally, but I'm really not sure about. I mean, and this is my personal opinion. I'm really not sure about how much or how effective that would be, because in the end, it's just a social media network or platform. So how serious is it going to be? I think other platforms like Google Classroom or I really don't know, you know, names of other platforms, but generally speaking, anything that has that sort of utilizes a method that is more direct, using like an official account, a university email. It's
specialized for this.
Absolutely.
This kind of thing.
Yeah. I think that would sort of tell apart or separate between who really wants to learn and who actually is not interested.
However,
we have a call actually.
Okay.
Let's receive our guests on the phone.
Okay.
Yes.
Today we have Miss Nada Kurwad, who is a volunteer at the, as I said earlier, volunteer at the registration department of Faculty of Art, Misurata University. Hello, Nada. Can you hear me?
Hello,
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Trying to make the quarantine positive. How about
Okay.
you?
Good for you, actually. Thank you for accepting our invite for today. We would like to ask you a bit about the Google Classroom. Is it called this way?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Uh,
We want to know more about it. Can you just give us a brief knowledge about it?
sure. So, Google Classroom is an app that enables teachers to create an online classroom area in which they can manage all the documents that their students need, such as assignments, quizzes, research papers, and all these documents are stored in Google Drive. And they can be also edited in Drive apps such as Google Docs, Sheets, and so on. So, Google Classroom has a lot of benefits, but I can highlight the three main benefits of it, which is the first one, making assignments, uh, second one, making announcements, which is my favorite part. The third one is allow students to interact. So when we go further for the first one, the teacher makes homework assignments for his students. When the teacher uploads a file to read or to work on, the students receive an email notification of a new assignment. The students turn in the assignment when it's finished, and the teacher then can grade it. It is so easy, but a lot of people doesn't have much awareness about it. For announcements, if the teacher has a quick announcement for the entire class, like canceling a lecture, delaying an exam, he or she can quickly post it, and it will be emailed to all the students in the class. For the third one, allow students to interact. Students have the ability to comment on assignments and announcements, as well email each other through the classroom. They can also post a private comment that only the teacher and the student himself or herself can see it.
Okay.
There is a question that a lot of people ask about it, which is how can we get started with Google Classroom? They think that it is a hard thing, which is, I believe that it is an easy thing. Like other Google applications, you only need a Google account to use it. But it would be better if the account was affiliated to an educational institute. Like here, we use an account that affiliates Misurata University.
Okay.
If you are the teacher, you can create the class group, and you will be given a code that has to be sent to all the students so that they can join. Or you can easily create the group and you can invite them by their emails.
Yes, so this is the whole process that everyone has to do in order to get this service. What about the acceptance? Do you see a good feedback about this process?
Yeah. Did they get used to it?
Well, it depends on the educational institute itself. I mean, they're supposed to give lectures, provide videos, and posters about the benefits of online educating. And in our faculty, our registration department made a huge effort in this. So, me, as a student, I decided to give them a hand because a lot of students didn't respond to them. But in the end, I believe that it's all in the teacher's hands. Once the teacher decides to have an online classroom, the students give up and start activating their account.
Yes.
But we still face a problem, which is students don't have much awareness about emailing and these stuff. They can't distinguish between the student accounts and the normal accounts. I mean, student accounts, it's obviously an account that provides the students a lot of free opportunities, such as taking courses,
Yeah.
free storage in some applications, and a lot of opportunities. I believe that we shouldn't miss these opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. For like, I want to just know the difference. It's not just me. Let's say people want to know the difference about the normal email we usually use, and this these Google Classrooms. What's different? Let's say I can just send my assignment through the normal email. What is the difference?
Well, you can use the student account as a student email as for emailing. That's it. But when you use the classroom, you can do assignments. You can attend lectures. Do some quizzes. You can post announcements between you and your classmates. So Google Classroom is an app, while student account is just an email.
It is. I think it's literally an online classroom. You're like in classroom.
It's like a group. It's like a group on Facebook. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Miss Nada, thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and I appreciate the information you gave us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
After like listening to Miss Nada and what she said about the students not having much awareness, I think this is relies let's say on activists on social media, influencers, IT students mostly. Like, okay, people like follow you on Facebook and Twitter, and they add you and everything. They can share your posts. Let's have this campaign where you just introduce online vocabularies. Let's make people know what's the difference between an email and account.
Like I said before we have started our discussion, I don't know a lot of things about online education, and this is the point. I think there's a lack, as you have mentioned, about the difference between a personal email or a classroom. So yes, we want to launch a lot of campaigns regarding this point, actually.
Yeah, and also people need to know more. It's not just a social platform. You can find jobs there. You can find courses there. You can enroll in anything you want to enroll. You just search that. And you will find. We need people to be responsible of that. People who would encourage people to know such things. What's your opinion?
I'm really glad that Nada explained Google Classroom quite thoroughly, mashallah, and the campaign of actually initiating that system and the huge challenge and the immense effort that the registration department, especially at the Faculty of Arts, Misurata University, did is like, it's just mind-blowing, mashallah.
It's brilliant.
And it's absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
Google Classroom has basically been implemented, I would say, I mean, especially back when I was a member of the English department. I think it was maybe in 2016 that we actually started, and maybe that was a time after you guys graduated, so...
We were going to graduate.
Right.
It was our last semester, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was very, very helpful in many ways. And as Nada mentioned, you know, teachers posting announcements and assignments. It's so much easier and it's like more effective and it's not even time consuming. The moment you post whatever it is you're posting, I mean, very likely the student needs to almost immediately receive it. So the problem, And this is what we really need to address.
Yeah.
The problem is with the will of the people. How much are they willing
Yeah.
to accept this? Because if there's no acceptance, then it's just going to be a barrier. It's going to block your way.
Of course, yeah.
No matter what you do, no matter what awareness campaigns you're going to,
Yes.
put out there in the open,
Yeah.
it's not going to be useful at all. So, unfortunately, I mean, we're just going to we're forced to go back to our bases. How much do people know about, being online? What are the children being taught at school? I mean, I think we should basically start from there, because
Yeah.
this is how it's working almost everywhere around the world.
Yes, actually, I blame somehow the educational system, because I
There you go.
remember we had the IT method at maybe 7th grade or
Yes,
9th grade or something.
At 7th grade, yes.
Yeah, we had it really late or something, and we didn't really have it as that method. We took the basics.
Yeah.
We know how algorithm works.
Microsoft, maybe.
Yeah, and Microsoft,
Office.
yeah, and how to use the painter. at the web.
Okay,
Yes.
all
Yeah.
right. So
Only.
that's a good start,
Yeah.
but it's
we
not
didn't
enough.
go deeper.
It's not enough.
We
Yes.
didn't- Yeah, I knew about algorithm, but I didn't know it is the one you use websites for.
Yeah,
Nobody taught me that. I had
absolutely.
to teach myself.
And I believe, I mean, it's not, in a way, it's not really that practical for me as a person to learn all these things in
Yeah.
order to be online or to use the internet. I really don't need all that to be a pro. And because as a result, I mean, we're seeing all these people or students who have arguably studied whatever what you have mentioned right now, and you see it's not it wasn't put into practice. It
Yeah.
wasn't helpful at all.
No,
It's
no,
like
it
people keep saying, well, I really don't know how to use the internet. How do I go online? How do I don't know, get access to Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
So it's like something that you have to do on an individual basis, which is very time consuming, and it's just gonna be we're still a long way behind.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Maybe let's take this topic in another side regarding the comparison of between traditional education and online education.
Yeah.
There are many people who are complaining about traditional education, that they didn't get the chance to express themselves more because of the huge numbers we have in our educational system. So what do you think about that?
Meaning the huge number of students in the classroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, I want to say something, but because of the time,
Yeah.
because of the concentration,
Yeah.
so it's distracting, kind of.
Absolutely. And I mean, we as teachers and, as people in general, we know that we all have different characteristics. Some people are vocal and some
Yes.
people are not. The apprehension inside our classrooms in general, and this is something as an English teacher specifically, I've struggled a lot with it, because they're just always afraid of, making mistakes or, saying something wrong or not addressing or asking the right questions. So I guess if the educator is open to this idea of, online contact with their students, then, I mean, that's like the first door that you need to open.
Yep.
Because if there's no open door, people are still going to ask questions about, how do I do this? I mean, because it's kind of, it's not right for us to say, well, we need to blame the students, because they practically need to be, you need to show them the way.
Yes, they don't have bases.
Well, that's the thing. And it's not something that is a negative thing to begin with, because even if you feel like you don't really have the basis, or you haven't studied, or you haven't taken courses, you don't have to worry, because it's really not rocket science. So you will eventually get the hold of things, and you will definitely be able to get through and be able to use it. Because from experience, mashallah, so many students have done very well using the application, communicating, uploading, submitting assignments, like for creative writing.
Yes.
It's like I would edit their work online and then send it back with their
Yes.
marks, comments. If you have any questions, you can ask me in private. It's worked quite well for some time.
However, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep blaming people.
Okay.
However, I think students should have done something, because we're not stable country, okay?
Yeah.
They should have just contacted maybe with, let's say, universities. I'm not going for high schools and everything. Let's say they should have contacted universities, maybe taken it as an official step where they study online. Like, they've missed, how many semesters they've missed so far? We have war, and now we have this pandemic.
Yep.
They should take in
two semesters, I think. Two
2
semesters.
semesters. Okay,
Yeah,
they should
this
take
year.
in consideration that we're not a stable country. We're not going to be studying all the time. We never
Absolutely.
know what could happen.
Yeah.
It just take in consideration that you should like just take a step, take an official step with the university or whoever to push you to just study. Online studying is not so hard.
Or use the available, maybe the available platforms
Yeah.
in the other countries.
Yes.
Yes. So I think this is one of the solutions we want to see.
Yeah.
Regarding this point, maybe that Aisha has said, the current situation we have in Libya, we have the war, we have this pandemic.
Yeah.
So everything is cancelled. Everything is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the only the thought about that, it's like it just makes you freeze. It's like your brain
Yes.
freezes and stops. So what should I do? Everything's like locked down, and
Yeah.
we're at 0 degrees, no movement, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
So I think it's really hard to set the standards, because we're gonna need to be very open about this and be very understanding.
Yes.
Because I mean, even on a personal basis, it's like the first 2 days, I was like, wow, I have all this time in my hand. I'm gonna do this and
Yes.
that and read and learn and listen and whatever. But then it's like a week goes by and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I just don't want to do this.
Yes.
So it's a really hard equation
Yeah, it is.
to set. So why not just go on our own pace
Yeah.
and try to see or figure out what really works for us. With regards to online classes, whether it's the university that's going to implement that or not, I think we're going to need to plan this very, very,
Yes.
This
is
carefully.
what I said. It should be an official step.
Yeah.
People go with the system. You tell them they're gonna fail. They should study online. They will study online.
And this is the thing that will motivate Libyans
Yeah,
to do it. Because
Right.
as Aisha has mentioned, if you are going, the students that you are going to fail, if you didn't take this step, they will do it, and this is another social problem, maybe.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we did agree at the beginning, or before we started recording, that this episode is going to be a pull and push
Yes.
sort of, topic. In a way, yes, perhaps we're going to need to sort of motivate them either by force or whatever means.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're going to need to step back, remind ourselves, hello, we had a problem with their university emails, setting up their Google Classrooms, etc., etc. How do you think we'll be able to jump to online learning and distance learning? And then there's that wake-up call. We're in Libya.
Yes.
There's a pandemic. There's war.
Reality
and
calls.
summer's coming. So that means, power cuts. The internet is already, snail speed. So,
Okay.
Yes.
However, I'm just gonna say it again. Students should take a step. If I was a student, I
Yeah.
would have done something. But I'm a graduate. I feel bad. However, they should take a step. Either discuss with the university, discuss with their teachers,
yeah.
or maybe start from like zero. Start educating their fellow mates, their people, about like what is university email. How should I learn? Or sometimes maybe ask teachers or maybe the great student to volunteer
Yeah.
to give the information they have.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because, and this is something normal and natural that some students like it better when their fellow peer teaches them something.
Yes.
So, yeah, why not? And I think what Neda's doing is quite good. So it's like, well, she's a fellow peer. She's also a student. I'm going to listen to her.
Yes.
So, yeah, why not? Why not?
Why not take a step?
It should happen, hand in hand.
Yes.
We have talked about official organizations or official decisions that has to take by the country. We have seen in Libya the Ministry of Education has taken a decision in order for students to continue by the Libyan channels.
Right.
But do you think that giving lessons throughout TV is a good idea? Do you think that the Ministry of Education has succeeded in that?
I think the programs that they're airing are devoted for like high school level,
yes,
or
for ninth grade, I think, and
Okay.
for high school, yes.
all right. So
They have targeted a special stage, let's say.
right. I think that's quite an admirable step from them to actually provide something like this. It's quite good. Again, we're gonna need to step back and then look at what kind of basis that we actually have. How much do we actually respect the educational process to begin with? Are we really interested in, taking education seriously? If you think about our social structure, what goes on in almost every house, it's not really that convenient for studying, right? It's
Yes.
like, even if you're taking a phone call, you have to like go outside or go get on the roof,
especially
right? So
this
for some
situation.
privacy. Absolutely. Everybody's in the house. So if for example, you're going to conduct a classroom with a teacher online and with a number of students. So let's think about the internet connection. Let's think about the environment that the family is willing to provide for the student in order to guarantee a very smooth educational process. So this is something that we really have to do, because with the availability of that, 100% the results are going to be magnificent. Because this is exactly what's happening in a lot of countries abroad. Even like you would see online videos of children communicating with their teachers very easily, and they're like maybe 7 or 8 years old. So
Yes, this is why this is what I've been saying like so far, because it's official, like the government supporting that. Here we do have teachers who are communicating online with their students, and like they're teaching them online, sending assignment and so on, but they're doing it voluntarily,
right,
like no one is pushing them, no one is motivating them to do so. This is why we have like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 cases of teaching online from teachers. If it's official, if the government is supporting it, not just only on TV, because TV is not as
Popular?
flexible and popular as internet,
And
you know?
Another point maybe in this case, there's not an interactive method. It's
Yeah.
not an interactive method
Yeah.
in having a lesson in TV, and this is the problem. Maybe we are seeing lately, we are seeing the live Facebook for these lessons, but the comments
Not
is
so
very
good.
bad actually.
Right.
They're not
Yes.
so supportive.
Yes,
This is
yes.
what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Like,
so
no
this
support.
is this is coming back to what we've mentioned earlier. It's like Facebook is still a social media platform. It's not basically that official or formal
For learning, yeah.
Absolutely.
For okay, yeah.
And this is one thing that Google Classroom provides for teachers is that I know who are in my classroom, and so it's more like a very private, closed circle where I can do my job, to perfection as it should be.
Yeah. See, for like the government, okay? I know I'm going on for the government for this.
What's
but
your
like,
request? Yeah.
we would like for online education to be an option. Not something that is just like now we will have online education because it's pandemic, we're locked down and everything. We're not
And
even having it.
We're still not sure if it's gonna,
We're not even provided
if it's gonna
with it.
progress or not. Yeah.
However, if it's an option for us, okay, we would have been so educated about it. Like, people have circumstances, okay? Therefore, let me, as a student, either go to a class, interact with my teacher, or just have it like online. I should have it online, have the slides maybe, have the description of it, hand my assignment online, whatever I want to do it online, or just go to the class. Therefore, I'm asking maybe the government should like introduce people to online learning. Let them know that it's an option to do. Have an agreement with the university that maybe this semester I can't go like university or learn
You
or
can't
anything.
be an active student.
Yes. Maybe I should learn online. Maybe therefore people will be educated about it. Like, we should have it as an option. Not something
Right.
not look at it as something luxurious. No, it's an essential thing.
Absolutely.
Not something extra. Therefore, like, it's in the hands of the government.
In some cases, the government can force people to use,
Yeah.
because we used to be forcing in order
Right.
to be obligate.
Yeah, to get used to it.
Yes.
Okay. When you say the government, it's I don't know. I just see that it's a bit. Let's not try to generalize the whole government.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
try
vague.
to address the Ministry of Education
Ministry of
itself.
Education, right.
Even if, ouch, I just poked my eye.
Because
it's a
government.
serious topic, yeah.
I know.
So this can be, immediately addressed to the Ministry of Education. If not, why not, like the presidents of universities or, the educational systems, in whatever city is really interested and serious about this, why not take your own step and do it? Because, this is how the country's being ruled or led nowadays. It's like several cities, among them, if not, one of the top cities that has put things in their own hands is the city of Misurata.
Yeah.
So, hello, why not?
Why not?
We need to add this to the list of priorities in order to put the city, on the cycle, and let's just not stop.
Yeah, and
because
just
mashallah, so
go
many
on.
things have not been affected. People are like amazingly thinking about new solutions to so many things,
Yeah.
and life is like it's kind of still the same as before. So why not add this to the list?
Yeah. And it's not just by official places. Let's say students, like, start. Everyone should do their job. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, if I'm a student and I'm missing so many semesters and I maybe miss school and I miss learning.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do something.
Yeah.
Let me start even Facebook group.
Yeah. Or
Start-
let me call my teacher. Let me
Yes.
encourage my teacher to do this.
so.
Because believe it or not, I got a message, I think last week or the week before, right when I think the University of Misurata sort of announced that they are thinking or considering the idea of online learning. And a girl sent me a message and she said, is it okay if I attend with you? I know I have graduated, but is it okay if I attend with you on an online course or anything? And I told her, well, you know, the circumstances. And it's, so, I mean, you see, there are people who are really interested.
Yeah, encouraged to do so. You know?
Absolutely.
If you told her, okay, let's go on, I think she would be starting a class right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, she would facilitate the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
why not?
So yes, unfortunately, we have reached to the end. It was a pleasure indeed, and
Yes.
Thank
it was
you.
an amusing podcast. Do you have another thing maybe to add regarding this topic? Do you have a message, steps that we have to take in order to improve ourselves?
Right. For the time being, since that we're all in quarantine, and thankfully, to a great extent, we do have the luxury of internet in almost all houses. We don't need to add pressure on the people. It's like if you really feel like you want to do something in this time, just do it. If not, I mean, do it at your own pace. But it would really be a pity and a shame if, this whole thing ends and you come out like empty-handed. I'm not saying that you come out with a degree or a diploma or master's or whatever. It's not just that. It's like...
you have to educate
Finish
yourself.
your book.
Finish reading that book that
Yes.
you've been,
Finish that painting.
Absolutely.
I'm talking to myself, by the way.
I can add myself to that. There are a number of websites who actually provide
Yes.
free courses. I know not all of them are like interesting or maybe like available, but just give it a try and see what works for you. I think one of the most popular platforms that people, especially here in Libya, love to use educationally or for self-education is YouTube. So why not? Just hang out. You have all the time in the world now, so do your thing.
You have to
Yes.
be
Go for it.
responsible. Yes.
Absolutely.
And discover everything. You
Yes.
have anything at the
Okay.
end?
Miss Hana, thank you for the lovely discussion. Loved it.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
I would like to add up to add to what Miss Hana said about the online platforms. Okay, I know we talked a lot about official learning and all that. If you're not a student and you're really interested in learning something, you want another degree or maybe without a degree, there are several or many online websites where you can just learn things.
Yeah.
Harvard offered free courses for
Absolutely.
people to just learn. You'll get a certificate for free because we have this situation. There are Coursera, this website called Coursera,
Yes.
website called Udemy or Udemy or UDEMY.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and there is Idrak. They offer several courses.
Just don't wait for anybody to show you or to tell you. Just
Yeah.
Google it. You'll find it.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, we have reached to
Yeah.
the end. At the end, there are several problems with the traditional system of education. First of all, you need to pay thousands of dollars per term to attend a prestigious school. With all those budget cuts, busy classrooms, and course shortages, you won't always get the chance to study exactly what you want. So yes, this is the end of the third episode. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you and goodbye. The Libyan Digest.
The Libyan Digest is brought to you by the Libyan Observer.